how hard is it just to absorb a loss like this after going ahead by 20?
The season's over. That's what's hard. Being up 20. The season's over. You don't understand that. The season's over. It's hard. Stupid ass questions.
He gets it off to Reed. Corner, Edwards, and shoots. Timeout.
And so here we go again, back with another one. Welcome to the Dark Times channel. And before I get started, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button for me. And if you're not new to the channel and you enjoy the content so far on this channel, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me as well. And so let's go ahead and dive right in. As everybody already knows, the Minnesota Timberwolves upset the Denver Nuggets by winning Game 7 on Denver's home court. And I actually had the Minnesota Timberwolves winning in 6. And if Mike Conley hadn't got hurt and was able to play in Game 6, I think they would have had a good chance of doing that. But as it stands, they had to go back to Denver and they had to win on Denver's home court. And that's exactly what they did. And they did it through defense.
In transition by Minnesota.
This is why this Minnesota team is going to be in the conversation for years to come. The defensive block with the left hand, I might add you, by Anthony Edwards. I'll go back to my question to you.
Anthony Edwards is a real dog.
Is he the best two-way player in our game now at 22 years old?
And so absolutely, the supporting cast for the Minnesota Timberwolves, they showed up. And on top of that, everybody played defense. Everybody on that court 1 through 5 is going to play defense. There's no weak link on the defensive end. You can't say that about the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets' weakest link on defense is also their best player on offense. And that's a problem.
Is Jokic the most unguardable guy in the league right now? Like, nobody has an answer for him.
Well, see, it is the answer. It has to be another center, which is not at the moment, who can go right back at him, who can put up just as many shots as he do.
Yeah.
You gotta make him work, because he's a poor defender.
Anthony Davis showed you that.
He's a poor defender.
That went well for them team-wise.
If you attack him, like, let's say Rudy Gobert did have, you know what I'm saying, a little shake and bake in his game. You know what I'm saying? Down there on them blocks.
Yeah.
Let's say he did have that. If he was a little magic man out there. You know what I mean? And he was the same way we see Joker, bodying him, like hitting him with them elbows and them flailing arms going down there before the shot. But you don't see Rudy doing that back down the other end. No. You know what I'm saying?
He don't have he's not equipped for that. But I hear what you're saying.
He's not, but that's how you go. That's how you stop an offensive player.
And as good as Nikola Jokic is on offense, he's the polar opposite on defense. He's atrocious on defense. And so one of the keys to beating the Denver Nuggets, or one of the recipes to being able to beat the Denver Nuggets, is having a center that can make Jokic work a little bit on defense. And as it stands right now in the NBA, there's not a lot of centers in the NBA that can do that. There's probably 3 or 4 centers in the NBA that are actually true offensive threats. You're talking about Embiid, Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns, Alperen Şengün, and maybe another one that I'm forgetting right now. But these are guys that can actually make Nikola Jokic work on the opposite end. Aside from that, Nikola Jokic is usually kicking back on defense, only playing one side of the floor. And if you think about it, there's really only a handful of times that Nikola Jokic really has to bang with another center, and that's going to be Joel Embiid. And the same goes for Joel Embiid. For the most part, those are the only 2 guys that have to worry about one another as far as the physicality and going down on the other end each and every time and banging. That takes a toll on you. And Minnesota's GM, who was formerly the GM of the Denver Nuggets, was smart enough to realize one of the weaknesses when it came to the Denver Nuggets. So the first thing he did, one of the first moves that the GM made, was getting Rudy Gobert. And so I think after this latest performance by the Minnesota Timberwolves, knocking off the Denver Nuggets, and the strategy that they used and the personnel that they had at their disposal, I think you're going to see a lot of GMs, especially out west, try to stack their teams with bigger men. Because like I said, as it stands right now, most teams aren't equipped to be able to handle a big body like Joker banging in the paint like he is. And then on top of that, he's highly skilled around the basket and also outside of the paint. And so like I said, I think the Minnesota Timberwolves just gave the rest of the league the blueprint on how to beat the Denver Nuggets. If you can get one of these big bodies that can make it difficult on those guys, you got a chance. But if you don't, it's going to be extremely hard to beat a team like the Denver Nuggets because most people aren't equipped and they don't have the physicality to be able to bang with a Nikola Jokic or a Joel Embiid. And so that's the blueprint. You got to make these guys play defense. And I know it's difficult ever since the zone has been implemented, mainly for European players so they could come over here and be able to play the game. But you got to figure out a way to make these guys play defense. But those are my thoughts at least. Go ahead and drop a comment below. Let me know how y'all feel on the subject. And make sure you guys hit that like button on your way out if you haven't done so already. And as usual, peace and chaos.